Greetings, Eva Bolginas here again, and me and my Oppo Connor. Hello. This morning, we want to make an indecent proposal to you, don't we? Do we? No, we don't actually. But what I will say is proposals themselves aren't indecent, but what goes in them, I think, is. I shall come back to that. But what usually happens is this. I'll be talking to a prospective client or something, and we go through the audit call, and they like what I say, and they say, okay, would you send us a proposal? What do we say? We say no. We say no. We do. And they'll go, oh. And I say, but what I will send you is an action plan. And they go, oh, great, thank you. Now, there's a reason I use action plans and send action plans and not proposals. Well, there are two reasons, actually. One is fairly superficial and simple to understand. The other one's a bit deeper, even though the two are connected. But what I really want to get at is what goes in a proposal or action plan. Because although I think often it's unconscious, they don't mean to do it deliberately because they already know what my fees are. I think sometimes people want a proposal because they hope and they expect for a discount. Because what the mindset people are in is, we are this close to closing a deal, so what they're going to do is drop their fees to try and clinch it, don't they? Do we ever do that? No, we never ever do that. And I actually say in my action plan, you'll notice there is no discount, no special offer. And there are three reasons for doing that. The first is it is really not fair on my existing clients or our existing clients, whichever way we're doing it, whether I'm doing it as a solo clientele thing or we got it in the operation. Because, there are clients who've been with me for, 10 years or more. It's a slap in the face to them if I suddenly take on new clients at a lower fee. It's just, I'm delivering value. I really don't need people that badly. I'm going to cut my prices. And it's disrespectful to my loyal clients. If anything, you should be charging new people more because they have yet to prove themselves to you. You are also taking a risk as much as they are. That's the first thing. The second thing is it sends a terrible message, doesn't it? Part of what makes a client relationship successful is your positioning in it, your relationship. And if you allow them to knock your prices down and call the shots in these things, you're viewed as no longer as being the trusted advisor, but you're seen as the hired help. And that's a really bad situation to be in, because the hired help is, there's no disrespect to anyone who does a menial labouring job, because these jobs have to be done. And we can't all be brain surgeons, can we? You certainly fucking can't. But, someone has to do these jobs. But the hired help is someone who takes instruction and just does the labouring. That's what they do. That's what they're there for. And that's fine. But if you're coming in as a highly paid, trusted advisor, you can't afford to be in that position of being treated like the hired help. Because, there are times you have to tell a client, no, you're not doing it this way. And if you do, we're done. Because, we can't do our best if you are standing over our shoulder telling us that we're doing our jobs wrong. I wouldn't come to you and tell you how to do your job. You don't get to tell me how to do mine. Okay? If you don't take that line with clients sometimes, you are doing them a disservice. You are not serving them, are you? No. And the third reason is very practical. I can't deliver my best to a new client, or any client, to be honest, if I'm not making a decent profit so I can relax. You've heard of the old thing about, the way to look after other people, the way to serve other people is first to look after and serve yourself. It's like the airline thing, the oxygen mask comes down, you've got to get your own mask on first to make sure you're okay before you can help everyone else. Because if you passed out through lack of oxygen, you're useless to anybody, you're just dead weight. And soon you'll be literally dead weight. So for me to serve my clients properly, I have to be making a good profit so I can relax into the job and I can get the job done without scrabbling around for more clients to make sure I'm okay financially. We've all been in the position, I'm sure. I know I have as a rookie, and I know some of my mentoring clients have in the past, and I've not shouted at them or anything, but they've learned from their mistakes. And that is, sometimes we'll take on too much work at too low a fee, and we're more focused on getting the work in because we need the money than we are in actually delivering on our promises. And that's a really bad situation to be in. We've all done it. I admit to it. Not for many, 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 many years. And I wouldn't do it again. But that's why I charge more now. So I can afford not to do that. Okay? This is why we take on very few clients, maybe no more than half a dozen at a time. Because we want to be able to deliver real quality to them. And we can't do that if we're charging peanuts. So we charge a lot of money. But the thing is, how much we charge is all relative to your ROI. If you're in a business where you're making, you make an extra sale every month and you've more than covered our fees, and we'll get you much more than one sale a month, won't we? You're laughing. It doesn't matter how much you're paying us. Now, back to action plan stroke proposal. The simple, obvious reason I don't do proposals is a proposal is something you merely have to think about. Now, this is a copywriting thing. Most copywriters won't get this because most copywriters are crap. But a proposal is just something you suggest. It's a suggestion. You just think about it. Well, by the time I get to putting all that work in to get a document in front of them, laying out exactly what I'm going to do for how much, there's been quite a bit of work. There's probably a couple of 3 hours work in there. Well, I don't want it as a proposal. It's an action plan. An action plan is something they have to take action on. Meaning, okay, they don't necessarily have to go for it, but they have to decide one way or the other. With a proposal, it just sits there on their desk, and it's a proposal, and it just sits there proposing for weeks and months, and then they'll come back to you 6 months later and say, oh, well, the project has changed slightly. Can we have an updated proposal? And, the whole fucking sad sorry cycle goes over again. But with an action plan, they have to take action one way or the other. Yes or no. I don't care which it is, really. I mean, I'd like a yes, because it's nice to get a new client, especially one that you can serve really, really well and make a lot of money for both of you. But hey, I've got no emotional attachment to it. If they say no, they say no. But then at least we both know where we are and we can move on. There's a deeper reason for it as well. A much, much, much deeper reason. And if you want to know what that is, I mean, the two are related, but it digs very deep into the heart of my philosophy, our philosophy on business. If you want to know what that is, well, you're going to have to join us for the Ground Zero initiative. And you can do that by just clicking the link below in the comments and doing the necessary, following the on-screen instructions. Very simple, very unobtrusive, very non-threatening. But, you will thank me, I promise you. All right? We're out of here, aren't we? We're done? Yeah, we're done. We're out of here. We're done. See you later. Ta-da.